Okay, so this video is to distinguish or to describe how we distinguish a Academy member from a Bounty franchise owner. This question has come up, and I thought it was time that we clarify this. So, as franchisees, it's a completely different relationship, identity, presence than an Academy member. But I'm going to deal with like the difficult stuff first. I know what Academy members are going to think about right away. Are you going to plonk down this big fat franchise right next to me? And what happens to my business? The proximity of Academy members we will always take into account. Okay, so we're not going to, number one, that's number one. We're not going to just storm in there into your neighborhood and set up this big Bounty franchise and destroy your business. That is not in our interest whatsoever. We appreciate our Academy members. You are valuable to us. You are not going away, and we will definitely respect you. So that's number one. Number two is we are not going to have 4,000 franchisees across South Africa. Okay. The franchisees at the moment that you see, so you saw Lisa G doing her one in Belito. We made noise about Plumstead in Cape Town. We've made noise about Meyersdal. Lisa G was some time ago. Shan and Elizma came along quite quickly, but we've had an inundation we are inundated with inquiries associated with this franchise. So we're pulling the reins on the horse a little bit. We're not going to have a lot of these. Why? It's resource intensive on us, and I'll explain to you now in a second why. We also want to make sure that we don't dilute the brand in any way or form. We're not some other brand like a KFC or a McDonald's, or we're not like that. We're not interested in the volume of points of presence. We're interested in taking the entire Lisa Rally Group experience on the ground with franchisees. Okay, so if you're an Academy member and you've applied to become a franchisee, we will definitely prioritize your application. So if you haven't yet, please, and you're interested, please apply, because I want to take a look at that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is a franchisee? A franchisee to us is someone that is completely replicating our business in that particular vicinity. So what do we mean by that? That is a person that loses their identity because they become a Bounty Plumstead or they become a Bounty Meyersdal. Their social media presence associated with that has to change. So in terms of the terms, it's quite onerous. You lose your identity because you are Bounty instructor and you are Bounty, right? You may be a Lisma, etc., but now you migrate that handle to Bounty Meyersdal. Lisa G as Bounty Belito, right? Bounty Plumstead. These online presences are more about the facility, the Bounty brand, not necessarily that particular individual. Okay, so that's important to understand. That individual may be the franchisee owner, but the emphasis is on the facility. The facility is also very different than an Academy member. It is named Bounty, so it will be the Bounty franchise or the Bounty Studio Plumstead. The Bounty Studio in Belito is Bounty Belito, right? So you cannot change that name. You don't plaster your name on it. So it's not Bounty Meyersdal with Elizma's name all over it. It's not Bounty Plumstead with Shan's name all over it. It's not that at all. It's Bounty Plumstead, it's Bounty Meyersdal, it's Bounty Belito. So in terms of online presence, it is pretty much, that's the term. It is the studio's presence. It's not the individual's presence. Although the individual does pop up, there's obviously there, but it is the presence of the studio, number one. Number two is when someone walks into a Bounty studio that is franchised, every piece of equipment in that studio is Bounty, everything. Rebounders, accessories, mats, the walls are our prints. There's the Bounty logo in the back, and all of that is determined by us in unison with the franchisee owner, but pretty much Lisa dictates whether that's big enough, how many rebounders go in there, and there's minimums associated with that also. Yes, there are some franchises that will come along and they'll look like sort of franchise light. These are folks that are taking the first step towards becoming a full-blown franchise. They may have a smaller facility, they may not be able to do everything, but they can do like 80% of what we want, but they've clearly committed to a time frame where they will have a full-blown bigger presence, and they'll offer the rest of that 20% in a particular period of time that we agree upon with them. So you call that franchise light, but I don't want to do too many franchise lights because I don't want, if too many people miss the target, I don't want to be sitting with an issue there. So we really need clear commitments around that. But a franchisee, first of all, their space, their online presence, their space in terms of the Bounty Studio is done in unison with Lisa. The look and feel, the equipment, the walls, the colors, the aesthetics, the stuff that goes on the walls. We need amenities in that facility. It must have a shower. It must have a bathroom. It must have a little kitchenette. It must have all of that. So a lot of Academy members don't have all this, right? So this is what we need. This is the replication of Bounty HQ. So it's got all the amenities inside of that. Changing rooms, showers, loos, etc. in that studio also. Then an additional thing is we expect that studio to merchandise and have space to merchandise all our stuff. And when I say all our stuff, our flagship products. And that merchandising space is done in unison with Lisa. The colors, the feel, the elements utilized in there will replicate elements that you'll find, example, in the Nickelway store. So if you go into the Lisa Riley Nickelway store, if you go into Meyersdal, you'll notice that the look and feel is the same. The prints that she has is very similar to the prints that we have on our leggings and some of our flagship prints. The racks are made by the same person that made the racks that we had at Nickelway, and the chandelier. We will put a point of sale system in that environment. That's the fourth thing. We will put a point of sale system in. It will be integrated to our back end, the stock management, the inventory management, the accountability, the reporting, the transactions. All of that stuff is managed by our back office. So there's an onboarding that happens. So you can choose between wholesale stock that's put in there and consigned stock, or consigned stock more so than wholesale stock, completely up to you. But we do expect you to have the space for merchandising, displaying, fitting, changing. So if someone wants to do a bra fitting, they must be able to do it. You must be trained in bra fitting to know exactly how bra fitting. You must be the person that's in that space must know every single one of our products, must go through training. The look and feel, like I said, needs to be our look and feel. And every flagship product that we make needs to be purchasable and experienced there. So if they want to feel how a pro rebounder feels, they can go and bounce on a pro rebounder all the way through to a 570 Pro jump sport rebounder, right? We want those rebounders all displayed there. People can jump on them, and then they can select and they can buy, and we'll actually stock it, and the client can walk away from there with that. So they can walk away after class with a rebounder, a bra, a pair of leggings, soles, etc., etc. And that entire infrastructure, you need to accommodate. You need to make a commitment around that. You need to be able to manage that with us, integrate that with our back office. So, and then also walking into a studio, the aesthetic on the outside, not just the inside, the look and feel of where the merchandising happens, where the studio happens, the amenities, all of that. That's pretty much something that gets done in unison with us and the franchisee. It is a significant investment. You do lose your individual identity because it is not about you, it's about the Bounty Studio. It is the replication of Lisa's, prints, colors, feel, because that's what she's emanating at Bounty HQ up here in Bryanston and in the Nickelway store. We want that to emanate. So when they come to the Nickelway store or they come into the Bryanston studio, they need to see more or less the same thing. They need to be able to experience all that. But some of the last points is when they walk in, the branding on the outside of a studio, we'll work with them on that branding. They can't just put up any. It's a Bounty Studio, the logos, the times, etc. Then coming to the classes, we expect someone that has a Bounty Studio it's not them as an individual. We can't have just someone owning a Bounty Studio and that individual person is doing classes. Example, Bounty Meyersdal, Bounty Plumstead, Lisa G, these are folks that have multiple people doing classes with them in that particular studio. So we need multiple instructors in a studio. Okay, so we need a beginners, an intermediate, a hit. You must be able to yourself offer that, have other instructors with you offering that, and publish out a timetable associated with that. Maybe not off the bat right away, but definitely in the shortest of terms, we expect that to be available there. So it is a hectic commitment. It's a very different thing from what we expect from an Academy member. An Academy member is someone that has been trained as a Bounty instructor. Obviously, the same thing applies in terms of minimum standards to a franchisee owner. So all the folks must be Bounti instructors. But Bounti instructors, like you folks that are Academy members, you're Bounti instructors. So you emanate the feel of Bounti, the workouts, etc. That is occurring inside of your studios, which is amazing. But it's your brand, it's your studio name, it's your look and feel. It's our rebounders, sure, or you may, I don't know, some of you may not have all our rebounders in there. We can't be dictatorial in any way. We can't tell you what to do. We can't tell you how you publish out your workouts. That's completely up to you. But as long as we know that you are trained in the Bounti way, so you're a Bounti instructor, we recognize you. We put you up on our e-store. We tell people about you. You're first to know about products and services before anyone else. We give you pricing that's different and beneficial versus anyone else. Those things won't go away. All the benefits that you get won't go away. If you're an Academy member, you got your own identity, you can start your own studio, and off and away you go. If you want to become a Bounti franchisee owner, that's a very, very different thing. So hopefully this describes the differences between a franchisee lite, and an Academy member. Right, so franchisee lite, don't go too big on that because there's not going to be a lot of this franchisee lite thing. I am not in favor of doing it. Some folks will do it, but it'll ultimately have to be a full-blown franchise. So it's a significant investment. It is a massive opportunity, in my opinion, to come along. But if you're an Academy member, don't fret. Okay, don't fret. Don't be threatened by this. There's a position for both. We are not going to flood the market with all of these franchisees. Yes, you may hear us saying we got like all of these applications, but we're not going to flood the market with it. Okay, so we're very meticulous. We're going to take it slow. We're going to do it thoroughly. And we're learning as we're going along with this. And we'll sometimes make mistakes. And please, if you feel like we're doing anything that's untoward for you as an Academy member, just reach out to us. Let us know. And we'll gladly open up the discussions and have a chat with you. But hopefully this positions it, this clarifies it. Okay.